What's going on, Internet? It's Josh back with another episode of Sometimes I Say Things. Today we're going to be talking about ownership and just being a better person in general. Hope you're ready for this one. It might get kind of ugly. Buckle up. Let's go. Alright guys, so real quick, just want to let you know I've been off for a few days now. My voice, man, it's still kind of going in and out. I've been getting over a cold, but that's beside the point. Let's get on to the topic here. I want to talk about ownership and about just, being a better person in general. There's so many things I see at my job, at where I work, at the world around us. I just feel like a lot of the problems that we have in this world right now boils down to ownership and us not taking any. You know what I mean? We're in a generation now, the millennials and these younger kids growing up are in a place in their life where they're not required to take ownership for the things they've done, for the things they said. We're kind of building up a generation of people that are told if you have a problem with something, they need to quit doing what makes you have a problem. And that doesn't work. That's not how life is supposed to work. When we do that, we develop people that are very thin-skinned. We develop a society of people who are afraid to be hurt, who are afraid to have those feelings trampled. I'm not saying it's a good thing to hurt people. It's not a good thing to hurt people. But my point there is, let's take TV shows, for example, or I don't know, bakeries, restaurants, anything that you can think of in the news recently over the past few years where there's been someone offended, and instead of that offended person being like, I don't like this TV show, or I don't like this bakery because of X reason or whatever, instead of saying I don't like that about them, so I'm going to go here instead, I'm going to turn to this channel instead of doing that, they say this person doesn't need to exist anymore in this business. This person, this family, this company, this television show, because I feel that they've done me wrong, they need to go away. When the truth of the matter is, no, you need to go away. Because the problem stems from you. They didn't come to you looking for a fight, but they came out doing what they were doing to begin with. The same thing they've always done. And when you had a problem with them, you should have went somewhere else. That's kind of the gist of this whole topic that I'm on today, because again, working with public, and I don't want to say the name of where I work, but I work in a call center for a cell phone carrier that's in the U.S. We have phones. That's our slogan. We're a cell phone carrier in the U.S. We have phones. But I don't want to say the name, but you know what I'm saying. We talk to people every day, and I'm in customer service, and don't get me wrong, I love my job. My job is one of the greatest that I've ever had. I enjoy it tremendously. Not only is the company I work for a great company, and I really do mean that. I have no problems with where I work. A lot of the customers I talk to are great, and they really give you your ego a boost, especially when you know how to do something to help them. That may be just the smallest little thing, and to them, it makes their world better. It makes their day brighter. So that's huge. I like that. But other than that, I mean, you have calls that are the opposite. You have calls that are just bring you down. Just people that call in that have such a horrible time with you, that just want to cuss you and tell you how you're such a bad person because their cell phone bill. Okay, let me make sure I'm clear here. Their cell phone bill, their phone that is in no way a necessity in your life. Let's think about necessities for a second. Food, shelter, clothing. Okay? Those are necessities. Having a cell phone to play Angry Birds and check your Twitter and your Facebook and your YouTube when you check out, sometimes to say things, hit that subscribe button. It's not a necessity. Let's face it, guys. It's not a necessity. But it is a fact of everybody's life that we have a phone, and we all have phones, and we all, hold our phones near and dear to our hearts. And sometimes, I find myself in a place where I'm like, I kind of wish we didn't have cell phones anymore. But then again, I wouldn't have a job. So let's keep the phones. But, you have people that their bill may have been $100 a month for 5 months, and then it's $103, and they want to cuss you up and down, call you every name they can think of because you did it. It's all your fault. When they don't, just look at the bill and say, oh, I dialed 411 to get that phone number, there's a charge. But that doesn't compute, because why would that compute? If my bill's higher, I'm automatically going to assume that the company is trying to take money from me. Not that I used more services than normal, because that's a crazy thought, but that the company that provides the services, for whatever reason, Josh just didn't have lunch that day, so we got to tack on $3 somewhere because we got to pay for that Snickers he took from the break room, and so we just tack it on to old lady Smith's bill. She ain't gonna notice, right? No, old lady Smith, you used more services, so your bill's higher. And even if it was the company's fault, I didn't do it. So you calling in yelling at me does nothing for anyone except makes me not want to help you. And believe me, when you call in and you're nice and you're respectful and you're a decent human being, I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to make it right, because I want that phone call to end with you smiling, saying thank you. One of my last calls today, I had a lady say, I hope you have an excellent weekend, because I made her day. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I made her day. I made her feel good, and she came into the call very upset. So, things like that is why I love my job so much. But there are those people that in everything we do in life, they want to place that blame on you, on them, on that one, on everybody but themselves. And I'm not innocent in this. I've done it. But I also admit that it's a problem. And I think I'm sorry, I'm sitting there combing my beard. It's a habit. It feels great, by the way. Live Bearded is an excellent product. I don't get sponsored by them, but I love them. Sorry, sometimes I kind of go off sidetrack. The problem is there's just so many things that happen in this world that we just don't want to take that responsibility. We don't want to be a better person. We don't want to try harder in ourselves. And I'm sorry, but this world is it's gonna always be this way. It's gonna always be it's gonna get more and more worse as time goes on. If we don't change, we have to be that change. Okay? We have to be the one. It has to start within us. At the risk of sounding like a fortune cookie, it has to start within ourselves. Okay? I can't expect you to be different or you to be different or whatever if I'm not trying to be different. What example am I setting? That's where it all should fall. What example do I set? Because I can't expect you to do better if I'm not doing better. Okay? Because that's hypocrisy at its core. And hypocrites are everywhere. We're all hypocritical from time to time. And we don't need to be. But it happens. It happens all the time. Our job is to love as Christ loves us, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. And doing that means not being selfish. That means not placing blame on other people for your own mistakes. That means being a man or being a woman, being an adult, stepping up to your own problems. And it isn't always easy. Sometimes it's hard to admit that you did something wrong. Sometimes the consequences are rough, you know. We always have consequences when we make mistakes. Sometimes they're better than others, but they're always going to be there. Sometimes they're harder than others, I should say, but they're always going to be there. We're always going to have them consequences. So what do we do to not have to deal with those consequences? Be a better person. Man up, woman up, do your thing. Do what Christ wants you to do, not what you want to do. Get that pride and that self-image out of the way. Push it out of the picture. And as soon as you can do that, you put God first. That selfishness and that blame that you want to place on everybody but yourself, it has to fall away. It has to. And I think that ultimately, that selfishness and that blame that we're placing on people is the downfall of us. It's the downfall of this country. We have so many people that want to say it was President Obama that caused blah, 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 insert topic here. It's President Trump that caused insert topic here. It was Bush. It was Clinton. I'm sorry, but that's one person. And I'm not saying one person doesn't influence people. For crying out loud, let's look at American Idol. You have one person that influences a show. You have, 2 people, 4 people, whatever, that make or break a superstar, in the world's eyes, a superstar. But we have our own choices to make. And yes, one person can influence a lot of people, but that influence only goes as far as you allow it to go. It's up to us to figure out who we're going to be influenced by. Am I going to be influenced by a president, a senator, a rapper, a musician, an actor, actress, whatever? Or am I going to be influenced by God? That's my choice. That's ultimately only up to me. And as soon as we can all get that through our heads, I think we'll do okay. But I think this nation is going to be brought down a peg or two before we get to that point. I feel like we have to be, because we're too proud and too whatever to realize that we're not the greatest. I'm not saying I don't love America. I love America, but we're not the greatest, and we need to do better. We need to be better, not just as a nation, but as individuals, as Christians, as non-Christians. We need to find God, and find out that God loves you the way you are, and you need to go to Him so He can come to you and make you a better person. That goes for me too. I'm not above it. Okay? But I guess that's where I'm going to end this vlog. I really just wanted to ramble a little bit and rant on this topic, because it was just really in my mind today, on my mind today. And I missed you guys. I missed making the vlogs for the past few days. If you have any comments, any suggestions on anything I've said, if you have any thoughts you want to add to it, please feel free. Comment down below. It's a no judgment zone. If you have thoughts that are against what I said, let me know. Like I said, I don't want it to hurt people, but I want my word to be heard. And if you don't agree with it, let's talk about it. Please don't take offense to what I say. That's the opposite of this whole topic. So I love you guys. Like, share the video, comment down below, thumbs it up, all the good stuff I always try to jumble up at the end of every video. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace. And one more thing, when we're talking about taking ownership for things, my son says it best when he says it like this.
Go up!